the other day in the hallway. You're singing "Oh Happy Day."
And she tried to blame it on the dogs.
Now, not later, justice.
There is no longer a federal constitutional right to an abortion.
Justice. People say
Well, welcome to Bryant and Baden. Well, today is day 3. I want to tell you at the courthouse in Stamford, Connecticut, where Michelle Troconis is being tried. You know what she's being tried for? You remember this, a little reset, day 3. She's being tried for conspiracy to murder the wife of her lover. Now, her lover was a man named Fotis Doulos. The person who the prosecution believed was actually murdered, whose body hasn't been found, is Jennifer Doulos. Michelle Troconis, the girlfriend living with Fotis Doulos at the time that Michelle Troconis was allegedly being charged, or she's not allegedly being charged with this conspiracy and other crimes. I just want to tell you something more about this trial. This trial is expected to take 6 weeks. It is day 3. She has pleaded not guilty, but Fotis Doulos won't be tried. Why? Because he died by his own hand before he could be tried, leaving Michelle Troconis as one of the 3 defendants left, but the main defendant. So Michael Bryant has been at the courthouse following this trial, is at the courthouse right now. Michael Bryant, can you tell us what is new today in day 3?
Hey, Linda. Oh, hold on a sec. Just had to see if it was still there because I'm freezing my fanny off out here. Yeah, we're in front of the Stamford courthouse again here where the Michelle Troconis trial continues. As before, I mean, this is only day 3, but the key of every day so far with a lot of law enforcement folks has been blood, 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 blood. In fact, the defense prior to the trial began the argument that they don't want to hear things in front of this jury that suggest blood-like substances, because, you know, in the defense's position, the jury just takes the like part off of it and just hears blood, 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 blood. Today that continued. There was an argument outside the presence of the jury to keep out luminol traces of, quote, blood-like material. And the court ultimately decided, no, that's coming in. I talked to Attorney Schoenhorn during the break to see how he felt about that ruling that suggested not just that this luminol photography was coming in. There were 3 specific exhibits, and this was of alleged blood found in the back of the Chevy Suburban, which is believed to at least at some point carried Jennifer Doulos' body. And I said, what'd you think about that ruling about this time-lapse luminol? He started to say a little something. His associate cautioned him almost to say, John, don't say what you really want to say here. And he just concluded with, the cross-examination hasn't begun yet. So the cross-examination will be of the detective who was involved in the collection, not just of these blood-like samples, but also fingerprints, which they did find fingerprints. They didn't identify to whom those fingerprints belonged, though.
Michael Bryant, you were inside the courthouse where Michelle Troconis is being tried. What can you tell us about what's happening in this courthouse, and how is Michelle Troconis handling everything?
Today in court, Michelle Troconis very helpful with her attorney Schoenhorn. They're talking quite a bit animatedly while, again, direct examination has been continuing on these law enforcement officers. That's all we've seen so far. I am a little concerned that maybe the jury would like to see maybe a palate cleanser, somebody with lay witness testimony, but the prosecution has decided this is key. They want it laid out. Let's not forget what this case is all about here. This is a conspiracy to commit murder case. So you've got to prove, if you're the prosecution, A, Jennifer Doulos was murdered. Remember, her body was never found. We got a lot of blood and blood-like evidence. So they got to do that, number 1. Then they got to prove that Fotis Doulos was the murderer. Remember, he's killed himself. He is not here to answer for what he did or did not do. That's number 2. And then number 3, and finally, you've got to connect Michelle Troconis to any conspiracy to commit that murder. It is not an easy task. It is a multi-layered prosecution. And right now, it's heavily layered on law enforcement and what they found at the scene back in May of 2019.
A case is always great, I'm telling you, from a defense attorney perspective when you're in the prosecution case. But are there any tidbits that you see that could be helpful for the defense in the future?
Don't forget, there have been some spots found in the garage specifically that were not blood. They looked like blood. They smelled like blood. The presumptive field test said blood. Yeah, but they did the further testing, swabbed them, and did all of that mumbo jumbo and found out, whoops, not blood. So the defense is making some points in at least letting the prosecution acknowledge that, hey, the science isn't perfect. This evidence gathering is not perfect. And we got a long way to go. Right now, we are heavily invested in scientific evidence collection with much more to come in the next few weeks.